Hi everyone, James here from Belvoir Lettings and welcome to the weekly edition of the Northwich Property Vlog. Hope everyone's okay this week. Today I wanted to talk about protection of your property in terms of insurances, both landlords insurance and rent guarantee. Now if we start with buildings insurance, it's something that's very important on a rental property in terms of not only covering the property fabric itself, but also liability in terms of covering any accidents from the tenants and things like that. Accidents, as you know, do happen, and it's best to have this liability covered just in case the tenant does have an accident in your property, which you will be liable for. So you've got to make sure the insurance product is as robust as possible to cover any damage to the property, whether that's malicious damage, accidental damage by your tenants, to make sure your asset is fully protected under the policy. We at Belvoir, we employ the services of Let Alliance, who you may have heard of, to do our insurances, and they offer very competitive rates on all our buildings and contents, i.e. landlords insurance policies, which cover more than you would expect under an off-the-shelf policy, let's say you selected from the internet on a Go Compare website or something like that. So it's really the small print that's important when selecting your insurance product, as it needs to cover all eventualities. Let me now talk about rent protection. Now this is something which is a standalone product, which you may or may not have heard of before. Now what this covers, it's different from rent that you would lose if a tenant has to be rehomed under your buildings and contents policy. This is something that's completely different. This is in case a tenant stops paying the rent for whatever reason, whether it be separation, loss of job, accident, illness, and the list goes on. We're finding a lot nowadays tenants are suffering from mental health problems more than anything. It's a very prevalent problem in society. So it's really important to cover against whatever might be thrown at you in terms of tenant not being able to meet their financial obligations. So it's never been a more critical time to make sure you're fully covered for loss of income, which might not be completely the tenant's making. They might have been made redundant, or they might have had an accident in a car that was somebody else's fault. You just never know what's going to happen. So it's vitally important that you are fully protected. Owning a rental property is probably the first or maybe second highest value asset that you'll ever own. So for what it costs per month that we can get you covered from is absolute peanuts compared to the financial loss you could suffer in the eventuality of a tenant not paying, which could take up to 6 months to recover your property should the tenant default, plus you've got all the expensive legal costs on top of that. So you're talking thousands of pounds being out of pocket potentially. So why not spend that little bit of extra money for the peace of mind, which me as a landlord on my rental properties, I have for my total peace of mind should the worst happen. Like I say, it could be an innocent reason, or it could be more of a malicious reason why the tenant's not paying rent. But circumstances can and do change over the course of time. We might vet a tenant and then 6 months down the line, they have a nervous breakdown because they've gone through a separation, or they've been made redundant from a job that they thought would be in there for life. So it is, the future's unknown, should we say, and it's almost impossible to, well, it is impossible to predict. So, you know, if you belt and brace and cover for all eventualities, then you're less likely to be out of pocket, which we thoroughly advise. So if you do need more information on this, feel free to contact the office and we can certainly discuss it. So thanks for watching again, and look forward to seeing you on the next instalment of the Northwich Property Vlog.